The security situation in Northern Europe has reached a critical flashpoint as Russia issues a direct and sharp warning to NATO's eastern flank. Moscow is now claiming that Ukrainian drones are infiltrating Russian territory by utilizing the airspace of Finland, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. These allegations, which have been firmly denied by the targeted NATO members, suggest a dangerous expansion of the ongoing conflict. The Kremlin has gone as far as to state that it may invoke its right to self-defense under Article 51 of the United Nations Charter, a move that provides a legal framework for potential retaliatory strikes against those it deems accomplices. This dramatic escalation follows a series of successful drone strikes on high-value Russian infrastructure located near the Baltic Sea, including strategic oil terminals and transport hubs. Russian officials, including Security Council Secretary Sergei Shoigu, have framed these incidents in two ways. Either Western air defenses are proving to be highly ineffective, or these Baltic nations are deliberately providing their airspace to facilitate attacks. Moscow's rhetoric has shifted from general complaints to specific threats, with officials stating that if drones continue to originate from or pass through these territories, Russia reserves the right to engage them directly over NATO soil. The international community is watching with growing alarm as the risk of miscalculation reaches its highest level since the start of the war. Finland and the Baltic states have dismissed the Russian claims as baseless propaganda, intended to destabilize the region and justify further aggression. However, the mention of Article 51 is a significant legal escalation. By citing this specific UN provision, Russia is attempting to build a narrative that justifies counterstrikes beyond the borders of Ukraine. Military analysts warn that any kinetic action, such as shooting down a drone where the debris falls on NATO territory, could potentially trigger Article 5 of the NATO alliance, leading to a full-scale confrontation between nuclear-armed powers. As aerial warfare intensifies and cross-border drone activity becomes more frequent, the boundary between the localized conflict in Ukraine and a broader European war is becoming increasingly blurred. The rhetoric coming out of Moscow suggests that the Kremlin is no longer viewing these incidents as isolated events, but as a direct provocation by the alliance. With military assets on both sides of the border on high alert, the margin for error is razor thin. For now, the world remains on edge, as the diplomatic and military standoff near the Baltic Sea threatens to push the conflict into a dangerous and unpredictable new phase.